Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the arena, the faculty and staff of Southeast Missouri State University. Now entering the arena, the stage party. Now entering the arena, the candidates for graduation from the College of Education and the College of Science, Technology, and Agriculture. Now entering the arena, the candidates for graduation from the Donald L. Harrison College of Business.
Well, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Board of Regents, faculty, staff, and most importantly, today's candidates for graduation, I welcome all of you to our fall commencement for the candidates in the College of Education, the College of Science, Technology, and Agriculture, and the Donald L. Harrison College of Business. We especially want to welcome those of you throughout the world who are watching today's event via our webcast. Before continuing, I kindly ask that you silence your cell phones. As we celebrate the university's 144th year of service to the people of this region and beyond, in our two ceremonies today, we are conferring more than 800 degrees and adding to our roster of over 83,000 graduates. Our alumni have come to Southeast from every one of the 50 states and more than 80 foreign countries. We thank you for being with us today to celebrate this wonderful occasion. Candidates, to you I say that if there's ever a day that is your day, this is it. We are here. We're here to celebrate your accomplishments. Many people have been involved in the organization of today's event: faculty, staff, regents, and current students. An event to honor you. We hope that you enjoy every minute of it. And keep in mind that the day will come sooner than you might think, when you will wish to be back here and be able to live these moments again. We will begin our ceremony with a national anthem, and here to lead us is Emily Davis, a junior vocal music major from Chaffee, Missouri. To pay tribute to this great nation, please stand and face the flag at the rear of the arena. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bells bursting in air, gave proof through thy night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you, Emily. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the individuals on our stage this morning. I would ask them to stand as they are introduced and remain standing. Audience, please hold your applause until all have been introduced. The members of the Board of Regents: Mr. J.B. Knudtson of Cape Girardeau, President of the Board; Mr. Philip M. Britt of Kennett; Mr. Edward P. Gargas of Dexter; Mr. Donald G. Laferla of Carthage; and Mr. Thomas M. Meyer of Cape Girardeau. and members of our academic community. Dr. Walt Lilly, Professor of Biology and our commencement speaker today. Dr. Carl Kunkel, Provost. Dr. Diana Rogers Atkinson, Dean, College of Education. Dr. Chris McGowan, Dean, College of Science, Technology, and Agriculture. Dr. Judy Wiles, Interim Dean of the Harrison College of Business. Please join me in recognizing these individuals. J.B. Knudtson of Cape Girardeau was appointed to the Board of Regents in January 2013 by then Missouri Governor Jay Nixon to serve a 6-year term. He was elected president of the Board of Regents in March 2015. Mr. Knudtson, former mayor of Cape Girardeau and a 2006 recipient of Southeast's prestigious Vandiver Show Me State Award, is a member of First Missouri State Bank's executive team. He currently serves as Executive VP and Chief Lending Officer. Here to bring greetings from our Board of Regents and to introduce our speaker this afternoon is Mr. J.B. Knudtson, President of the Board of Regents.
Welcome, everybody, students, graduates, families, and friends. We were reminded at our meeting yesterday that this is why we do what we do, to get you to this point, and you're to be congratulated, each and every one of you. I am proud to stand before you as the President of the Board of Regents, and on behalf of them, again, we wish all of you a sincere congratulations on a major, major accomplishment. To our faculty that are here, remember, they are here of their own choice today. They make it all possible. Thank you, faculty. Thank you for what you do, how you make a difference. You clearly play a big part in the development and the success of our young people. Thank you for being here today. My colleagues and I are committed to education here at Southeast Missouri State, and I know that sounds like a rather common thing to say, but it is so important for us to be a part of trying to make a difference in today's challenging world of education today, and trying to be different, yet trying to make sure that we give quality experience to all of these young people. We are a part of hiring the president as Board of Regents, and I'd like to think we've done a pretty good job in President Carlos Vargas. Hopefully you agree with that. We are also a part of managing a budget, and budgets can be challenging at times, and we are going through some challenging times right now. But with this team in place, with this leadership at Southeast Missouri State, we will get through this, we will be better, and we will deliver the quality of education that we have done for so long here at Southeast Missouri State. Today we are delighted to congratulate all of you. Your hard work, intensive study, and commitment has paid off. And thank you for being here, students. It's up to us to make sure these commencement addresses and moments keep you coming back. And so hopefully you'll enjoy your experience today. Your friends that chose not to come will wish that they did, because this is an historic day in your life. You will never forget it. So thank you for being here to truly celebrate a great accomplishment. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker. President Vargas, since arriving, has had a real commitment to not going necessarily outside of our family here to get commencement speakers to come in. Better way to do that than to do it with the very people that play a part in your development. And so, in true form today, we are going to hear from one of our own. Dr. Walt Lilly came to Southeast Missouri State University in 1982 to join the Department of Biology. You can review his full biography in your program, but students know Dr. Lilly is a consummate professional who is clearly student-centered and always accessible. I find this very, very interesting, and that in one of the recent Rate My Professor surveys that was conducted, I remember Dr. Lilly is a biology professor. Students said, Dr. Lilly is one cool cat. Not many biology professors can claim that, but Dr. Lilly can, and it's what makes him special. His faculty and staff colleagues will attest to the fact that he is excellent at working with others and excellent at building a consensus. He's been a friend of many of us here. He's a friend of mine. He's been in this business a long time, and we're very, very pleased to have him here. As I understand it, his time here in this role is short, and good for him. He's served a lot of years here. So at this time, we get to hear from one of our own who will deliver the commencement address, and it's my honor to introduce to you today our commencement speaker, Dr. Walt Lilly.
Thanks, Jay. President Vargas, Provost Kunkel, members of the board, graduates, and guests. My honor to be here, actually. I never thought I would give a commencement address. No reason I would have ever thought I would have given a commencement address. On my way in, I thought, you know, I got a number of kids out here who've been in my classes just this last semester. They may not actually recognize me dressed like this. There's a tie under here. There's never a tie on this campus on me. I'm also using notes. Those of you who have been in my class, you ever seen me use notes? Never, right? But here they are. So they might think I'm a fake Walt. I'm not. All you guys who know me, my Carolina hat's back in the rec center. It'll be on my head as soon as we're out of here. So somewhere north of 40 years ago, I sat where you were, or you are now, and some dude was up talking in front of me saying that I was the future of the world and that it was my job to protect and to make the world better. Now, I suspect some of you are sitting there saying, that Lilly dude, he's got quite the memory if you remember years ago a commencement address. Either that or the guy who gave the address gave one great speech. Well, the truth is, both those thoughts are wrong. I have absolutely no clue what the person who talked at my commencement said. Here's the deal. I went to my first commencement as a faculty member in 1980. Now that means that I've been to, as we would say in my lab, a cubic buttload of commencements. And you know what? I don't remember anything that any speaker said at any of those commencements. I was fortunate enough to be up here on this stage 14 years ago when my daughter graduated. Think I would remember the address at that commencement, right? No, not a clue. And then about 4 years later, my son graduated, and I was sitting down here with my faculty colleagues. At least that's a little more recent. I ought to remember that, right? No, there's nothing there. I don't have a clue. So why in the world would I claim that I know what was said at my commencement back in 1975? Well, it's because it's the first thing that popped in my head when I started thinking about what I was going to say. That good old platitude that you are the future. Why would that happen? Well, I think there's only one reason for that. It's because it's said at every single commencement in one way or another. And the reason that's said at every single commencement, because of course it's true. It is a platitude after all. Now, in your mid-20s, you may be like I was in my mid-20s, barely there, but you may say, yeah, right, tell us some more stuff that's going to go away. But let me tell you, give yourself a couple of decades, and one of the things that you'll realize is that every action you take every day plays into that platitude. Back in 1975, all I really knew was that I wanted to be like Al Gordon. Al was a professor at Southwest Missouri State University. He was the best teacher I ever had. He was a fabulous mentor and a fabulous advisor. The fact that I've had a moderately successful career, as is outlined in that wonderful biography on the back, and that I've been lucky enough to mentor students of my own, still traces back to the incredible passion that Al had for being a college professor. To this day, I'm still trying to meet the high standard that he set. Now, being like Al meant that I had to go to graduate school. At the University of Minnesota, I had the good fortune to be Riss Sharvit's first PhD student. It's fair to say that Riss was obsessed by biology, and her enthusiasm was absolutely infectious. On top of that, most importantly, she was willing to let me work in her lab. She was willing to let me be a biochemist in her microscopy lab, and that sort of combined two areas that I was really interested in at the time. And I convinced her to let me work on a particular enzyme system that I thought had a lot of promise, and work on it in this fungus that she was working on. And she did. And so I worked on that project for a year and a half with absolutely no results. You know what? Riss was a great mentor too. And I'm not saying that in spite of the fact that she let me fail for a year and a half. I'm saying because she let me fail for a year and a half. That taught me an important lesson of science and life. And that lesson is expect to be wrong. And expect to be wrong a lot. It's okay. It's all right to be wrong. As long as you look at the data, accept the data, and try to figure out what's right. Now, ultimately, of course, Riss pulled me aside and said, you know, dude, you're going to waste your entire graduate career if you keep following this, so you need to work on something that'll work. And of course, we agreed on another project, and that's taken me through my entire career. I still work on the same fungal system that I did back when I started working for her. By the way, Riss also taught me to curse like a sailor. Back when that meant something, actually. It's a talent I maintain to this day, and it's part of the reason that I have these notes in front of me. So there's a point to this story, actually. Education is personal. You may not even realize it yet, but someone here at Southeast made a big difference to you. Whether that individual was a faculty member, a coach, an advisor, a classmate, a coworker, at some point, you're going to recognize a person from this time who had an influence on your life as much as Al Gordon and Riss Sharvit did on mine. All right. So how many of you out here are just glad this is done? Yes, lots, right? Of course. Guess what? It's not. Commencement marshals here, we're going to be handing out a quiz at the end of this, right? Sorry to surprise you with that. I didn't get it into the commencement syllabus. Here's what I mean. I teach a course that a few of you out here actually had. It's called bioinformatics. To the 5,000 or so of you who don't know what bioinformatics is and didn't have that course, bioinformatics is using computer applications and writing software to analyze data we get from DNA sequencing. Some of the tools of bioinformatics are used by 23andMe and Ancestry.com in order to trace your family histories, if you want that. Bioinformatics is a field that didn't exist until a quarter century after I finished my PhD. Yet, here I am, teaching a class something that didn't exist the last time I was in a class. Indeed, it seems like almost everything I teach in my field of biology has been learned since I took my last college class. Now, it's impossible to predict what the next 40 years will bring, but one thing is clear. Regardless of where your career takes you, whether you're going to be a teacher, whether you're going into farming or business, whether you're going to be an engineer or a scientist, your ability to learn new ideas and to assess their value is going to be much more important than what you've already learned. So, 4 things for the quiz. 1, you are the future. 2, someone here made a difference for you. 3, it's okay to be wrong. And 4, you're going to have to learn a lot more stuff. Everybody here is going to remember what I said today, right? No. Nobody's going to remember what I said today, right? Of course not. And that's exactly the way it should be. While I don't remember a single commencement address, I remember almost every commencement. My commencement memories are the smiles and the laughter of the hundreds of students I've known well and the thousands of students I didn't know as they crossed this stage. My commencement memories are hugs, handshakes, and happiness. And you all are going to add to those memories for me today. So to all of you in the class of 2017, congratulations. I wish you peace, love, good fortune, and of course, good memories. Thanks.
Fantastic, wasn't it? Thank you, Dr. Lilly, for those thoughtful remarks. We sincerely appreciate your commitment to our students, and thank you for being with us today to deliver the commencement address, which they will always remember, and to congratulate our candidates. Please give Dr. Lilly another round of applause. In a few moments, we will proceed with a portion of our ceremony where candidates, and that means all of you there, will be called to the stage to be recognized. Once all students have crossed the stage, Provost Kunkel will present the class and I will officially confer the degrees. Now, of course, I have about 32 pages here to read for you. And so I thought about asking you whether you think I should do it or I should skip it. So, who votes for me to skip them? Okay, who votes for me to read them? Okay, the decision has been made. The majority wins. Let me just say to you that I'd like to mention to you something that Nelson Mandela, and you know who Nelson Mandela was? Who knows who Nelson Mandela was? A few of you? A president of South Africa who was an impressive individual, and I encourage you to read about him. He says, "It always seems impossible until it is done." He said that. It always seems impossible until it is done. Students, today I can say that you have done